All right, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello and welcome to another Mathematic webinar. Today we are talking about mastering design controls for efficient and compliant medical device development. We have our friends from Arena here today. And before I turn it over to our presenter, I just have a few housekeeping notes. So this webinar is being recorded, so everyone who registered for the event will receive a copy of the recording along with the slides. And we are going to have ample time for Q&A. So please feel free to put your questions in the Q&A function at the bottom of the screen, and we will do our best to answer all of the questions and the time allows. All right, without further ado, I am pleased to turn it over to our presenter for today, Jair from Arena. He is a customer success coach, and he's going to take it away. Have fun.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And as we were mentioning, the title is Mastering Design Controls for Efficient and Compliant Medical Device Development. To start off this presentation, I want to just go over the agenda. I want to do a quick introduction of myself and Arena, go over some of the regulatory landscape that we face today, give you all tips on effective strategy, some real world perspectives, and wrap it up with a conclusion. So a little bit about me. I've been in the industry for over 10 years, managing PLM and QMS systems, mainly in the medical device space, but I've also been working in other regular industries like oil and gas and food and beverage. I'm really passionate about connecting people, process, and technology, and am a proud member of ASQ. For those of you who are in the ASQ community, you do know that we're here to help and drive passion for quality. So a little bit about Arena. What Arena is a cloud PLM solution that allows you to process your product lifecycle management and quality processes. We are a single source of truth system that allows you to bring your products to market. And you will learn a little bit more about us as I go along. I love to show this snapshot because this really kind of defines what a lot of times design controls really brings us, right? We are able to, all of us have an idea of what the product we want to develop or how the customer wants it or whether different departments see it. But this snapshot really brings out the picture of how all of us see it. And the idea of design controls is really to say, how is it that at the end of the day, the customer is going to benefit from what they really need? So as you see down these snapshots, the best one is what the customer really needed, right? And how is it that we are able to put together alignment to really deliver what the customer really needs? So what defines what the product actually not only needs to do, but what are the regulatory requirements? And as we know, when we're in a regulated field, regulatory requirements tell us what we need to do, but now how to do it. So therefore, it's very important as we put our teams together that we not only are looking for what the regulatory requirement is, but what is our internal business process landscape looking like? What are the things that are going to define how we are going to execute on delivering the product beyond just what the regulatory landscape looks like? And as you can see here from here, there is standards, there is requirements, and we have to figure out is it that we fulfill those requirements. Now, how is it that we get these requirements fulfilled? Now, there is many moving pieces. As we move along process, there are many people that are individually subject matter experts in different parts of the business. And as you can see from this snapshot here, there is a lot of interconnectivity. And a lot of times we are trying to manage this with silo systems, disconnected systems. And one of the most popular ways that a lot of us handle these is through Excel spreadsheets, through documents, through drives that are not interconnecting all the activity that needs to happen to deliver this. So as you can see here, this snapshot shows everyone that could potentially be involved, and we are all involved at different times, but we are interconnected. So therefore, it's important to make sure as you are developing your design control system that people that are going to be involved within that process are people that are going to support developing these processes. So we have to make sure that we don't miss out on the fact that we are not asking our own subject matter experts how is the involvement of each one in our process is going to deliver. Now, going to the meat of why we're here today. The design control process is something that starts developing, and it's actually in the regulatory requirement to be able to have our design inputs to design outputs, make sure that we are going to verify it and validate it. And every single business identifies this through their own assessment, but the fundamentals are always going to be the same. The fundamentals of a design control process is very simple, but very complex depending on the product you are developing. So everything starts in from us developing a design input based on our user needs, breaking it down through our design process, design output, verifying that design output to then deliver that medical device. And in between all that, we need to be able to review it. And that is one of the things that a lot of times it's the drawback. How is it that all the people that are involved are reviewing these processes? At that point, we need to have the ability to design our processes where it's being able to be reviewed by the subject matter experts that are going to be able to at the end deliver that medical device and therefore deliver that product. Technology. This snapshot here shows how complex the development of a medical device is. And by looking at the snapshot, a lot of us wonder, okay, we talked about people, we talked about processes, but what is the technology that we're going to use to be able to successfully bring this to market? And if you were to look at this, a lot of the companies that are in the startup phase do not understand this, and the ones that are ahead are using technology that might not really align with the products. So if we understand what technology we need, we would be able to develop this process to allow us to bring that product to market. And if we were just to look at this specific snapshot here, everything starts from a project, and we are going to be able to meet the requirements of our customers and the regulatory requirements to then start being able to bring our product, which encompasses your product records, your bill of materials, your documents, and how is it that you are able to approve it, and that becomes a record that now allows you to build your product. As you move down through the product development phase, you're able to create a quality management system to audit your process through audits, CAPAs, non-conformances, complaints and reviews, and so many more other activity that delivers into your product. Now, once we have that, we're able to analyze that, and we're able to report on that, and we're able to deliver that product. And that is what we call connecting data, people, and processes. And in order to do that, the requirement of a tool to allow us to do that is what we'll be able to deliver on that. And as you can see from the snapshot here, how it all encompasses, it's a single source of truth system. And there's many systems out there, and Arena and me as a success coach have been able to do that and been able to deliver that product that we are developing, and therefore we will allow the customers to be able to reach out to us and ask us how is it that we're going to bring that product to market. And with that, I just wanted to thank you all and open it up for questions.
All right, thank you so much. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. We'll just give it a minute or so, and you can always follow up with Jair after the fact at the email that's shown on the screen if you have a question later. All right, what do you think, Jair? We're not getting any questions. Do you have any closing remarks you'd like to make before we sign off?
No, I just want to let everyone know that this was a higher level discussion, like as far as like overview. It's not really like going into detail of anything. Just wanted to break it down, and hopefully as the attendees have any more questions, we could get more into detailed discussion on it. So that's just kind of what I wanted to make sure that everyone understood. It was not like breaking down exactly how you're going to do it, because one things I have found about design controls is very individual based on the need of the customer and the need of the product, the need of this, but the fundamentals are still the same, connecting the people, process, and technologies. So I just wanted to make sure that all that attendees understood is very high level, was a very high level discussion.
So what are some of the most common questions you get? Maybe we start there with one of those, and it might lead others to think of questions they have.
Yeah. So one of the questions I've gotten as I process these cases has been, okay, where is it that I start? Do I start? We are already a company that has a process today, and we already designed a process for design controls. But how is it that we incorporate the design controls through technology, through a tool, right? How do we migrate from getting everybody used to a paper-based system through Excel sheet system to a digital-based system? And the way that the best way that I've been able to incorporate that has been through being able to identify who are the key stakeholders that are going to be developing this process, and asking them, how is it that we would be able to migrate your paper-based system into a digital system by asking you the requirements that you have that are not gonna stop you from slow you down, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna uh, make it in a way where it's gonna be more efficient for you. So it does require having those meetings, sitting down and listening to the subject matter experts that are actually executing, versus like someone outside of the box coming in and saying, okay, this is what you should do. This is what you should. It's more about understanding what they do today and how can we enhance it without getting in your way.
So what does a typical start process look like? Is it a company reaches out, inquires if it's an appropriate tool, and you start having a number of conversations to dig into their current processes and how your tools might create efficiencies?
Yes, so it's important for me to understand their current processes, and then understand if this is the right tool for them as well, because depending on the landscape that they're in and what they're trying to accomplish, sometimes the truth is that the tool might not be the best tool, right?
Well, that's great to know, how to get started and that you're a true partner in this, kind of upgrade and development, that, you have the best interest of the customer in mind. We do have a question that just came in. So Teresa is asking, can you give us a demonstration of Arena and how Arena helps with design control compliance?
Yes. So obviously you have my contact information, but yeah, that is one of the good thing about having, like I showed, really, right, the interconnectivity between different departments. Because one of the pictures that I did show, and as if I could go back to it, is everyone's within an organization, right, is gonna be looking at different things, right? And um, in this case here, it could be someone that's in regulatory and quality. Compliance is very important versus someone that's going to be in finance, right? Finance might be worried about this. So having this interconnected system, we would be able to connect quality, regulatory compliance. So then finance is going to understand why it's important that we purchase this product from the proper supplier and the proper system, where this is all interconnected, versus if we didn't have this connectivity. So yeah, to answer that, yes, we could give you a demo of how our system handles compliance, and um, hopefully not only that, but share with you how is it that it handles a lot more than that.
Great. So if Teresa wanted, or others wanted a more in-depth demo, the best approach would be for them to reach out to you.
Yes, if you reach out to the email that I put together over here, I would be able to guide you to our team, because I'm a customer success coach. So one of the things we like to say about Arena is not just, you're not just purchasing a software, you're building a relationship. So we are here to help you from beginning to end. So after you purchase Arena, you have access to me, which I'm a customer success coach, and I'm able to help out and guide the team. And we like to say this: uh, purchasing Arena is not just purchasing it; it's actually a journey that we go through to make sure that you bring your product to market.
Awesome. We did get a couple more questions that just came in. So here's one. How do you ensure effective collaboration between cross-functional teams during the design control process?
Yeah, so being able to have a tool that allows your team being able to look at the same data and being able to have a process in place through approvals, through life cycle phases, allows you to collaborate. As we know, change is inevitable, right? So we're always going to be able to change as our product is changing. But during down design phase, we also need to be able to capture changes that are happening throughout the design phase. So therefore, being able to create a process and having a tool that allows us to communicate within each other digitally, we'll be able to create that foundation of saying, okay, uh, this is my feedback, this is the feedback that I got on this, and between each other's feedback, we are going to approve a design product that now moves forward, but with everybody's collaboration. So having a tool that connects us like and allows us, gives us that flexibility, creates efficiency, and also creates a record, because the next person might not understand what is it that happened, because they might not have been in that meeting, but they could always go back into the system and look at that record of history.
Okay, great. So I think we kind of have a follow-up question to that. Are there specific change management procedures in the tool that you find effective?
Yes. So when we are looking through change management, and what you call the change management lifecycle, um, the first thing where we are going through change would be a change request, because we're not ready for this to happen. We want to request a change request. So then we would be able to create a change request and have the stakeholders that are responsible for that approve whether if this change makes sense. Then we will be able to move it over to the change order, because now we're ordering something to happen. As we move through that change order, it went from a change request to a change order. After the change order has been completed, uh, doesn't mean that now it's done, right? Because change order just is just stating that we're going to make that change order. The next part of a change order is change implementation, because we got to implement the change. So we went from a change request to a change order to the change implementation, and having a tool, a digital tool that allows us to track and complete the life cycle, allows us to be able to make sure that we are being efficient, we have a record, and everybody understands interconnectedly what everyone needs to do.
Awesome. Okay, one more quick question here. What about any specific tools within the system or methodologies that people really like or you found really successful?
I'm very biased at this because I work here in Arena, but I would like to say that um what for me, um just understanding like where everything starts to finish, and we start off with in Arena is requirements, right? We gather our requirements. We have a requirements tool within Arena, and the requirement is really us building the foundation for our product. And after we do requirements, then we do what's called design transfer. And Arena has the quality world, which allows you to have a quality template that now you go from requirements to design to transfer. And then from there, you have your whole change management process, and then you could actually build your product in there and manage the life cycle of your product. So the fundamentals are there as a tool, but more importantly, you have someone that's going to follow through the journey, like me, like a coach, that's going to help you through that if your internal team needs that guidance. So the flow of Arena, it's something I will say this. When I implemented it into one of the companies, they this is a joke, right? They said, do you use Arena for your life, like to practice your, like to do things in your, like your life, like practice? I'm like, no, it's Arena's for this. But it was funny because they meant it in a good way. Like, there is so much life cycle ability within a tool like Arena. So hopefully the folks that are here today and joining could actually reach out to us, because definitely want to hear your use case. And if our use case doesn't fit for your product, then we will tell you. That's one thing I love about our team. We like to make sure that it's a relationship, and we want to make sure that if we can't execute on what you're looking for, then maybe there's other tools out there for you.
All right. Well, I don't have any other questions that are coming in, so I guess we will give everyone back a little bit of their time. But thank you so much, Jair, for your expertise. And if you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to him. Email address is on the screen. You're also going to get the slides after the fact. I do want to say thank you again to Arena for hosting today's webinar. We can't put on great content like this without support from our sponsors, so do appreciate that. I encourage you to go to massmedic.com and look at all the other great events we have coming up. And thank you for attending today. We'll see you next time. Thanks.